Hey y'all, welcome to Soulish.
Where we talk about soul shit.
I'm Larissa.
And my name is Francesca. And on today's show, we will be talking about realizations. This means we're going to be talking about those moments that we got in life that were wake up moments. And the moment in life when we realized, oh my gosh, I'm responsible for myself. Everything I do, everything I say, I'm responsible for myself from this point on. So
yeah, thoughts included. I think we all have that epiphany moment, not even just like the stereotypical like, oh, you're an adult now. Like some people matured so young. I was told a lot in life that I'm like too mature for my age, or like I matured well. And thinking back on that, I'm like, yo, like I had to. Like there wasn't like a point in time where I didn't realize, like, wow, like, all right, this stuff is real. Like, there's more to this life than just, like, I can be all over the place, do whatever I want, because people were looking at me. Like, and I'm a big person about, like, how my demeanor reflects other people. And I think that's something that's also a struggle for me, too, is that I always care how other people perceive me. And when Francesca and I came up with this like kind of theme or topic, we just were like, okay, this might be a long video, y'all, so strap in.
Get your tea, get your coffee.
I know. Anyway, but it was just like that moment that we had to really like discuss, like, are we going to talk about growing up, or are we going to talk about the realization of the moment where we both went on a journey, not only just to find ourselves, but to talk about the ups and the downs of going towards these realizations? Because it's not easy at all. I don't think for anyone, and I don't think it will ever be an easy topic to discuss, but I don't know. I just feel like that's the best way that I can encompass this episode for us is realization to kind of our haves and have-nots
For sure.
of this life. Yeah.
And I think that elementary school, when we were kids, we were focused on having fun and learning the fundamentals, of education. And middle school, that was more about puberty and starting to understand friendships. High school was more, okay, you have to get a little bit more serious.
You have to know yourself a lot more.
Exactly.
You got to know where you stand.
You learn a lot more about relationships, but I think that we're still in a bubble in high school because we're not exposed to the real world. We don't operate in the real world. We're in high school. Our job is going to school. So I think that once we get out of high school, it's this whole other world that you're bombarded with. It doesn't matter where you come from. It's still a different world after you leave school because now you have a responsibility of your own personhood, of your own spirithood, and your parents parented you and they did their job. And it's not that they're not going to parent you. But once you become an adult, it's your job to parent yourself too. Your parents are there to help you along the way, but you have to figure it out on your own.
Yeah, that's definitely a good segue because of a lot of things, especially in my life. I have a great relationship with my parents, and that is definitely a learned and tried and errored experience. Like, not many people can say that, but as a person coming from my high school background to my college background was a total 180 split for me. I was not a person that I was proud of in high school just because of how much I was dealing with mentally and physically. Like, those, I don't know, prime years of our youth are very much focused on only an internal dilemma, I think, that we just want to be, I don't know if we want to, like, be the best, but we want to show our forthright most selves that, like, you know, we're growing up, we can take care of ourselves, like the I can do whatever I want attitude, because your girl tried it. My mom said no. and I think that's something that was a really big topic, especially for us, from having such a, like, we had years apart. Our friendship,
Yes.
like, it still grew and we still had respect for each other, but we had years apart from each other.
Right.
Like, literally no communication.
Yeah.
And I think that was, like, a big turnaround for us when we rekindled our friendship, because we were like, why do we act like this?
But this is the perfect thing to say, because you realize that everything in life happens for a reason. People say that all the time, but it's so true, because maybe we did have to have these realizations so low before we, you know, rekindled our friendship. And I think that happens with a lot of people. You know, you have to realize certain things for yourself before people can either come back into your life or come into your life for the first time. And for me, I also have a great relationship with both of my parents, and it was definitely a journey. I had a good relationship with them growing up, but it's definitely a lot stronger now, and I think that comes with maturity too, you know. You're on a different wave, and life is coming at you a lot faster. You know, so it's very important to find that stability and that support from anybody, even if you don't really have a lot of family. It's important to find stability with other people too. You know, that community.
For sure, I think that's a great point that you just brought up. Just then, stability with other people as well, because with my realization personally, it's not just, you know, a familial unit, like. Family is, like, so important for me, but so are my outside relationships, you know, as friends, for me, I may go extreme, like, as confidants, as acquaintances. I value everyone's, decision to be a part of my life in some equal fashion. And a lot of that realization came for me after high school, after I left, and, you know, I was a 17-year-old person out in the world, and I was like, I'm gone. I graduated from high school, left, decided I wanted to, you know, pursue my arts degree. I had, like I said in the last video, like the 5-year plan. I had, like, this whole thing figured out. Right. And then life hits you, and you realize you have to really be able to navigate and sit down and be like, wow, okay, maybe I had to admit to myself I needed help. I am not one of those people that I freely take help. Mm-hmm. And that's my realization, like, still going through my daily tasks, is I am allowed to take a break, like a breath, and be like, okay, can I do all of these things myself? Like with our channel, I literally cannot do this without Francesca. Like, it would logically, it would just be bad. I would dead be laughing. Y'all be listening to some crumbly audio. But anyway.
Hey, let's not do that.
I'm just paying y'all. No, but with that, like, perspective, I really had to sit down and be like, all right, minus, you know, our YouTube channel, our friendship too. Like, you have to have a good friendship to be able to determine, like, 1, I'm going to start a business with somebody. 2, do I want to be around you all the time? I do. Rude. I do want to be around Francesca majority of the time, but we also had that, like, kind of leeway period where we were like, okay, we have all these things, but we also have our own life. And I think that's really important, not only for our realizations, but for our journey as well. Because if we were going to just sit in the same predicament, I don't really know. I have a friend of mine, and he always says, if you're the smartest person in your circle, you need to get out of that circle. Yeah,
I've heard that too.
You need to get out of that circle. Yeah. Because if no one is pushing yourself, and then you're not pushing them, and y'all aren't growing together, y'all gonna be a little bubble. And
you're gonna think you moved a mile and you only moved a centimeter.
Right. And I'm gonna just say that now. Pop that bubble. Because
I tried to make the sound and it
I
just
know you
didn't
did,
come
I heard
out like I thought. Anyways.
But yeah, I just you really have this processing and pros and cons effect that happens with a lot of things. And I don't know if you want to touch on that like more, but it really, to me, it was just like, dang, like I had to realize as soon as I left home that I was like, wow, this is the actual start of my life. This is the actual start of me not only, like you said, realizing that my words and my actions affect people, but also my thoughts, and they affected me too. So
when I was in high school, my focus was the church. I was very into religion, and I was focusing on growing spiritually and helping the community and just being here for other people. And I realized later, one night I was walking my dog, and the street lights, you know how the street lights get like yellow at night, and I was just thinking, because I was at a point in time where I was very confused about what I believed spiritually, and I looked around and I looked at the world, and I said, oh my gosh, the world is such a huge place. And it was the first time that I realized how big the world was. Because, you know, you go outside and you look around and you live life. But it was one of those moments where I was just like, I'm surrounded by all of this space.
yeah, and you're not oblivious anymore.
And-
Sometimes you get those.
Right. It was
know.
just a weird moment. And I was like, I'm alone. And I didn't mean that in a depressing way, because I didn't feel depressed by that. It was more of a moment of self. And I felt that, okay, I'm responsible for myself. I'm responsible for my own happiness. I'm responsible for the things I say, the things I do, what direction I head in life. And I think that so many times throughout the years after high school, I would wake up in the morning and think, I never thought that I would be here. This isn't what I pictured in this moment. I pictured something completely different. And so that moment at night, that realization that I had, it was more of a, okay, yes, it's a little scary that you have to do things alone, but it's almost empowering, because I trust myself. You know, I trust myself to know what's best for myself. So at that point, it was a time for me to really sit down with myself and grow and figure out, okay, well, where am I falling short? What does life look like for me? What do I want to pursue? Who do I want to be? What do I want to believe? What do I even believe? You know, I think that's such an interesting question to ask yourself, is what do you believe? Because we have it in our minds, but we don't really talk about it to ourselves. We talk about it to other people all day, but when it comes to ourselves, we don't really have that conversation, and I think it's important. And, you know, I wanted to do a YouTube channel when I was in high school, when I was 17 years old. I was passionate about this. I was passionate about encouraging people and loving people, and I wasn't ready at the time. I was not ready. I had to have a set of realizations, seasons, different seasons. I had to meet different people to realize, okay, this person is a great friend, but I can't see myself doing a channel with them. I can't see myself, you know, being a business partner with them. It wasn't until me and her had reconnected that I was like, I don't know, something feels right about this. And it was the maturity that those realizations gave me, you know, and time is your friend. Sometimes it feels like it's not, but I really think that a lot of times it can be your friend. So
yeah, I definitely agree, and with most of that too, I think that was something that we also have. Where, I mean, sometimes we still go back and forth. We're like, are we ready for this together? Like, we both had an immediate like, yep, like that was it. Like, we sat down. Like, I think we were in the middle of the street, actually. I think we just were like, let's just do it. Yeah.
And I think that after we were like, let's do it, and we started buying stuff for the show, we were like, I remember I asked you, I was like, are you scared? Are you a little scared?
I said, hell yeah.
And I was like, okay, good. 'Cause I'm scared. Like, I'm a little scared. So as long as we're on the same page, we can keep moving forward and support each other and encourage each other when we need to.
Yeah.
So,
because that's also a big thing. A lot of, I'm going to keep saying it because that's the topic, realizations. But with those realizations, they not only come in like full force. For me, I've had even more of them being brought back up in my life. Things that I learned or experienced years ago are like just now being like, wake up, sis. I need you to register this moment in your memory. And I'm like, dang, like an example is I never knew like how much I cared about other people's perceptions until it was pointed out to me years ago. I mean, most people have an idea or they'll say, I'm a people person or like I'm an introvert, but like no, like I care what you say. So if you say it, like I hope you mean it because I take everything to heart. I don't know if that's that Libra season, but anyway. But it's just about, I had to take the time for myself also to register that even though I care so deeply about other people's perceptions on what they do, I can't necessarily in everyone put their opinion or what I should be or how I should live my life on the forefront. Because, I mean, even with like this channel, some people was hating, and that's okay. You know, they don't feel necessarily that we will be successful at what we want to do, what we want to share. And honestly, our YouTube channel, we are just here to real talk. Like, there's not much... Period. There's not much that is like, oh, let me do this from behind the scenes, or like, we're just trying to do these things. We're both just community people. And I think that's what's super great about this, and another part of our lives is Francesca has her own life. She boss ballin', doing her own thing. I have my own life, you know, as an artist, as a businesswoman, entrepreneur. Francesca does everything else because she's so talented. She laughing, but she is. And so with our lives being on different paths and being able to focus on those things, I feel that with the, shout out to our last video, intention, with our last video, I really feel like we kind of hit that nail on the head where we were like, what do we actually want these things to be, to culminate to? Because without that, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's mute, but we don't get to move forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I don't know, I just think that it's good that we're on different paths. I think that everybody should be on different paths. We get realizations at different times, in different situations. And, you know, I think that I feel the same way, that life constantly brings me the same realizations until I get it. Yeah. And then it'll bring me something new. And my dad always told me growing up, he said, if someone's talking to you, it's okay if it doesn't apply to anything right now. Put that information, like a book on a shelf, in the back of your mind. And one day you're going to be living life and you're going to see it and you're going to be like, I have that book. It's there. And you have that information for that moment. You know, I think that we're also very observing creatures. Yeah. Creatures, humans, whatever.
Beings.
Whatever you believe. We're very observing, and we take things in that we don't really understand until later, you know, subconsciously. And later we might realize that we know how to do it, and we're just like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know I was going to be prepared for this. And that has a lot to do with just things you go through in life too, you know. They prepare you for the next moment.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that that's such a valuable part about life.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And with preparation, too, as Francesca will admit on this channel more than once, I am an organized freak.
Oh my gosh!
Not only
No,
in my
I'm
mind, but in my personal being. I just have to have things my way. I don't know. I just feel more
Can I act
comfortable.
something out?
Oh yes, you may.
I can't do anything until my room's clean.
That is exactly what
That's
I look like,
exactly
and that's
true.
terrifying. Anyway, the moment that I am in kind of just like an uncomfortable setting is when like I'm just all discombobulated.
Right.
Like I don't really know where to start, what to do, and that is honestly like just for me. There may be out there people relate. I'm sure that there are, but for me, like when we're setting up, or like when I have something due, or getting ready for work in the morning, or Francesca dogged me on making my bed every day. You know, just little things.
Shout out intentions.
Just little things that take up, you know, more than just like your space, but your mental abilities. Like, does that make sense? Like, I am so nitpicky that I have to be able to have those moments where I can see myself thriving or making right of a situation, because my personal beliefs is that if I think something and I say something, I can do it and I can accomplish it, or I should or should not be able to do something based on my own personal mental ability at that time. Because sometimes, as most people know, when you think of something, sometimes you're like, maybe you should not do that. Or when you do think of something like you want to accomplish a goal, you're dead set in those patterns. Like, whether it's like, for me, I want to go to grad school. Or for Francesca, she might want to do something else. Or, you know, it's just about those different, I don't know, places in time where you put that realization to work. You're like, here it is.
Yeah.
I've written it down. I've manifested that jump.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get to that place, and I'm going to go, like, full speed.
Right.
Regardless of who, what, when, where, why.
Yeah.
I just have to make this goal because it's what I want for myself.
For sure. And I think that night that I explained where I got that realization about being responsible for myself, that was not the realization that made me go to work. It was the first realization it was the first of many realizations that kind of shook me and was like, you know, let's do something different, or figure out your happiness, figure out your anxiety, figure out your depression. You know, it was really, you know, a lengthy time for me. And, you know, I think that now I see it as a gift. You know, those realizations are these little gifts. It's almost like someone's whispering to you, you know, saying, don't go that way, go this way. You know, it's that direction.
Those two forks, yeah.
That direction that life naturally gives you. You know, so I think that we just want to encourage you to be grateful for those realizations, and to be patient with yourself.
Yeah.
But don't sell yourself short.
Take your time.
Exactly. And
honestly, we're still growing. This isn't like a video where I'm going to be like, I'm the best, I'm the baddest, you know what I'm saying? But
we're definitely growing. I'm growing. I'm learning how to express myself thoroughly.
Yeah.
I think through this channel.
Yeah, we're growing even more every single day. And we hope this video helps some of y'all. If y'all have any comments, or just tell us what you're going through right now. What is the first thing that pops into your head? Write it in the comments. What is your most recent realization? And we're just so happy. We're so appreciative. Thank y'all so much for the support. And we hope that you hit that like and subscribe.
Please.
All right. See y'all in the next video.
Bye.